A highlight of the Succot celebration during the Feast of Tabernacles is the Jerusalem March, where the nations come together, waving flags of the nations and banners expressing their solidarity and love for Israel as they march through the streets of Jerusalem and touch the hearts of the people here.
We love you so. We pray for you every day. France loves you. France loves you. We're here for you and we love you. God bless you.
Brasil loves Israel! Brasil loves Israel! Brasil loves Israel! Brasil loves Israel! Brasil loves Israel!
Just feel the need to stand with Israel, being rooted in Israel, really.
I like seeing those little kids wanting a Canadian flag.
I love Israel because I believe in the Bible and the promises, and that it is a land of promise.
Roots and Reflections is a program created to bring you the Bible, culture, and education from Israel. It is our desire to build you up in your faith, to bring you hope both now and in the future, and to share God's love with all of you. Call the number on your screen and partner with us as we seek to share the good news from Jerusalem to the ends of the earth.
I love the people of this land, I love the country, this country, and I know the roots of my faith are right here.
I really love Israel. I love all the people of Israel, and I know lots of young Israelis who've travelled to New Zealand.
It sets a precedent really how we have to look as Christians towards the first chosen ones.
I think the biblical importance of it is that it demonstrates again the biblical notion that God is sovereign over the nations. And this celebration is all about the sovereignty of God, that He's not absent from the halls of government. The halls of government in Europe or wherever else, United Nations, may like to exclude God from their gatherings. But this celebration, with its Jewish-rooted context, is a reminder that the God of Israel is the only God of the universe. He's very much involved in human affairs, hence the tabernacle or the sukkah with leafy branches, which does not give the celebrant protection. Our ultimate source in life for everything is God Himself. So it's a celebration of the kingship of God. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. Why do the nations rage and think a vain thing in their rebellion against God? So it's this notion that God is not absent from His world, He's present in it. And this is the significance for a world that has gone secular, humanistic, and seeks to drive God from the halls of governance.
In Zechariah 8:23, it says, in those days, 10 men of all languages will grab hold of the Jew's garment and say, we will go with you because we know the Lord is with you. We will go with you where? To Jerusalem. When? In those days. When is those days? Now. So we will go with you, 10 men of different nations, different languages. So this festival of Sukkot really is the jewel in the crown of what I consider the need for Judeo-Christian marching together, especially in these times to defend Jerusalem, so that we should not lose Jerusalem.
Just like the Bible says, to come here to worship the Lord and celebrate the Feast of Tabernacles.
For Christians, the Sukkot holiday is an extrovert holiday, because the Christians leave their homes, leave their countries, to come to Jerusalem to serve God, to serve the Lord. Because if God commands the Christians to be here, that's a double-edged sword. In other words, God is commanding the Christians to be here, but they can't be here if we as Jews don't let them in. And if we as Jews don't bless them and say, welcome home, brothers and sisters. And so Sukkot, I think, is a holiday of reconciliation.
On this Roots and Reflections, we're coming up to Jerusalem to celebrate Sukkot. I've heard rumor that you know when the Messiah is coming back.
Yes, absolutely, Barry. And it's coming out in my new book. And my new book is destined to be published on the day he puts his feet on the Mount of Olives.
What do you think is the next thing on God's calendar here?
That's hard to say, but as I look at things, I think one of the next things on God's calendar is something's going to happen in the wider region here, whether by conflict or otherwise, which we can all see emerging, that'll open up, I believe, first of all, the Arab world for an incredible visitation of God. And that, I think, is on his agenda, because he loves the Arab people.
Holy is the Lord God Almighty. Holy is the Lord.
The Succot Celebration, Feast of Tabernacles, transcends past, present, and future in God's mercy to Israel and the nations. It was during Sukkot that King Solomon dedicated the first temple, and that Ezra restored the word of the Lord to the regathered exiles in Jerusalem. In the future Messianic age, tabernacles will continue, for praise to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob will never cease.
I see it as an ongoing celebration, at least for now, and definitely in the Messianic age. And how eternity unfolds with that glorious city, I'm not too sure, but I'm quite intrigued to think that maybe forever we will celebrate this wonderful feast. After all, when that city comes, the New Jerusalem, the Bible says the tabernacle of God is now with men. And in my mind, the New Jerusalem is the new Feast of Tabernacles, the great and final culmination. Why? God will dwell with men. That is tabernacling.
For a life-changing experience, come celebrate Sukkot in Jerusalem and worship the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Baruch haba b'shem Adonai. Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Thank you for being with us in Roots and Reflections, our program from Israel, bringing you insights to the land of the Bible, its history, natural beauty, people, food, tourism, and much more. Your donations to help produce Roots and Reflections are much appreciated.